Have you ever wondered how to connect your bank account in QuickBooks Online? Well, you are in luck. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. I'm going to walk you through each step that you need to take. And of course, there are some security concerns that you may have, so I'm going to address those in this video. Hi, my name is Adrina. I am the owner and accountant here at Accounting by Adrina, and in today's video, we're just going to do a QuickBooks tutorial of how to connect your bank account in QuickBooks Online. So this should be very short and very sweet. I'm going to walk you through exactly what you need to do. There's a couple of things that I wanted to point out to you before we even get started. Now, right off the bat, I want to let you guys know that when you connect your bank account in QuickBooks Online, all it really is doing is QuickBooks is looking at your bank account and pulling in the transactions that you select. So there's no other thing happening behind the scenes. It's all encrypted, and QuickBooks is just asking, okay, what are the most recent transactions? We're going to pull those in. Those are going to be populated into your bank feed, and you will be able to categorize your transactions as is. Now, as the owner, you will need to know your username and your password. So you, as the owner, going into QuickBooks Online will be the only one who knows the username and password. Do not give this out to anybody else. Do not give this out to even your employees. Make sure you keep this information as secure as possible. If you are connected with a QuickBooks accountant, you can always make sure that the QuickBooks accountant is familiar with you and how you manage your bank accounts. So you will have the opportunity to connect your bank account into QuickBooks. The accountant user will have the opportunity to categorize the transactions for you. So that's really how both of those things should work. One more note about the username and password. As an owner, you are the one in charge and responsible for your own username and your own password. Do not give this information out to anybody else, including employees. Make sure you keep this information in a secure environment. Now, the way that it interacts with QuickBooks Online is once you enter your username and password, that is all encrypted within your bank's website. And all the information that's pulling into QuickBooks Online is just whatever transactions happened over the course of the period that you are selecting to get pulled into your bank feed. Now, me as an accountant user, when I log into QuickBooks, I cannot figure out exactly what your username and password is just by digging around in there. And there's just nowhere that the information is saved. It's all connected through your bank account online. All right, one other thing. Once you enter your username and your password into your bank feed, and that's all captured, all the transactions have loaded, QuickBooks doesn't actually need your username and password again until something else happens. And this is another thing that I go over in the tutorial in today's video. Once that's all uploaded and everything's good, it's just gonna keep connecting to your bank account and pull in the transactions overnight. And so that's why it is of utmost importance to make sure that you are connecting your bank account and your credit card. Now, if the connection is disconnected for some reason, maybe you changed your password, or maybe the bank had updated their link to QuickBooks, because sometimes that does happen occasionally. When I log into one of my clients' QuickBooks accounts and I notice that the connection is no longer there, I'll have to email them and make sure that they go in and log in with their username and password in order to update that connection. So that's really how all of that works. Now, with all of this said and done, if there is still the concern of that you didn't want to connect your bank account to QuickBooks Online, you can always upload your transactions through a CSV file or even a QBO file, depending on how you are allowed to download transactions from your bank's website. I don't actually recommend doing this because this is going to be one of those things that you would have to manage, that you would have to track on an ongoing basis, and that is going to leave room for error, especially because it's going to be just one other thing that you have to do that you probably don't want to do, right? Yes. All right. Now let's head over to my computer and let's just show you exactly how to do this in QuickBooks Online. All right, friends, we are looking at the QuickBooks version of the QuickBooks Test Drive, and you can actually just go there if you Google QuickBooks Test Drive, but I wanted to make sure that you are aware there's some other weird links here below, so make sure it's an Intuit link. So it has to say intuit.com. You can click on this and that's where we are. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to connect your bank account, and I want to show you a few other things as we do this. So you can access your bank feed using this section here, or you can even use this section on the left that says banking. After you click on the banking section, you will see that there are 3 accounts connected to this test drive version. There is a checking account, a savings account, and a credit card. So these are, generally speaking, the bank accounts or credit card accounts that are connected to QuickBooks. So these are the ones that are going to be pulling in transactions from whatever account it's connected with. So anytime a charge is made in your credit card, in your savings account, or in your checking account, you should see it populate here once we connect that account to your bank. So there's a couple of ways to do this, and depending on the version of QuickBooks that you have, you might see a couple of different ways to do this. So you can click this drop down here and you can see kind of like what the options are. You can also just go ahead and click on link account. And then from here, you would select whatever bank that you're using, and after you select that bank, then it would ask you for your username and your password. But since this is a trial QuickBooks test drive version, it's actually not going to be able to do that for you. So occasionally there's a separate screen that pops up that says, you know, this is this is the Chase banking website, and it'll be linked to your Chase account, so it'll be branded by Chase. You would enter your username and password. Sometimes it asks for a text code, so you would make sure that you pass all of those security measures in order to connect your bank account. An additional way to do that is if you are already logged into your Chase account, all you would have to do is just grab the URL. So just double click if you're using Chrome into that website bar. You can copy and paste the link here. See how it says enter your bank name or URL? If you're like logged into Chase, let's say, and you're in the home section of your bank, you could just grab that URL and paste it here, and it'll automatically populate. So it would just show up like this, and then you would click on Chase Bank. So that's a couple of different ways that you can kind of find your bank, especially if it's not a popular one that's showing here. Maybe you're using a credit union or something that's local for you. You can do that with the URL and see if it's connected. You can also contact your bank if it's not populating and see if there's a QuickBooks connection that they needed to do. For example, I had to do that for PNC. There were a couple of like additional security measures that we needed to do with one of my clients. And so it just might depend on the bank account that you have and the type of account that you have. So once you log in your username and password, then it's going to ask you like, which account is this? So I'm going to show you a different way to do this because I can't access kind of like the banking screen here. So it's essentially going to pull up after you log in. It's essentially going to pull up like this type of information. And QuickBooks makes it really simple for you to identify, yes, it is a bank, or yes, it is a credit card. And so if it's a credit card account, then you can name it. Let's say it's a Wells Fargo credit card. And what I like to do is like put the last 4 digits of that card number in there, because maybe there's like multiple accounts at the same bank and it might be a little bit easier for you to identify which charge goes where if the number is there. It'll tell you what the balance is as like when you connected it, and it's also going to ask a couple of other things like how far back do you want your transactions to pull in. So the reason why I laugh is because, thankfully we're at the beginning of a new year. And so I would suggest having a really clean start. So like January 1st, 2021 would be your best bet to pull in the transactions. If it says like go 90 days or go 60 days, that's going to go into a different calendar year, and depending on the type of taxes that you file, it might not be in your best interest to do prior year if you are using a different system. So I would just say do a clean start, maybe the beginning of the month or the beginning of the year, depending on where you are in the year. So that's just kind of a general suggestion for you guys. Then you would go ahead and click Save and Close. Changing the type or detail type of an account may affect your accounting and reporting. Are you sure you want to do this? So QuickBooks wants to make sure that you know if you selected a credit card versus a checking account, it's going to show up on your balance sheet a little bit differently. So you just go ahead and click on yes, and then you'll see that the Wells Fargo credit card that we created in 1, 2, 3, 4 is listed here. Once you connect your credit card or your checking account or your savings account, whatever the case may be, it's going to take a minute to pull in the transactions. And then once they pull in the transactions, then you'll see everything listed similar to what you see here. So when there is, an expense already entered, obviously it's going to show up as a record found. So if you've already done some due diligence in entering transactions prior to connecting your account, then all you would have to do is just go ahead and click on Match. After all of this kind of populates, QuickBooks doesn't actually need your username and password entered again until something changes. So like, let's say maybe your password changed or the account got disconnected somehow from QuickBooks, then you would have to go through all of that again. And generally speaking, like with my clients, if I'm coming in to do some bookkeeping on their QuickBooks account and I notice that the account has disconnected, then I'll notify them right away. And that way my client can go in and log into their bank account and see what's going on. Because it's just easier that way to make sure that they know, QuickBooks needs to be updated. Maybe they changed their password. Maybe, there could be like a variety of situations. I've had an instance where the credit card that they were using got hacked, or maybe it was lost or stolen or whatever the case may be. So that card was disconnected, and then I didn't know about it until I saw it on the QuickBooks screen. So that was a good thing for me to see so that I could say, okay, is there a new credit card that we need to connect to your QuickBooks account, which was the case. So that's what we went ahead and did. Okay, now the last thing that I wanted to mention while we are here is there is a way that you could upload from file, which basically means if you went into your banking screen and you downloaded a file, let's say it's a CSV file, because this is the most common one. Occasionally they do have a QuickBooks file that I have seen on banking screens, but generally speaking, it's going to be a CSV file. You can actually upload those transactions into QuickBooks yourself, so it would kind of like bypass the connection screen. I don't recommend this because it would be really challenging to keep up with, okay, did I download it from last month? Did I download it from this month? When was last time I downloaded the banking information? You'd have to keep double checking. And when you're connected with the QuickBooks banking connection, the encryption that they have, all they're doing is going into your bank account and pulling in the transactions from the previous day. So there's really no like security measure that needs to happen because it's just something that happens on the back end, and it's for our benefit. It's so that we don't lose track of transactions that need to be included in our business financials. So it makes things just way more streamlined, and it's way easier to manage your bookkeeping when it is connected to a bank account or a credit card account or whatever the case may be. All right, friends, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, you can feel free to send them my way, and I look forward to hearing back from you guys. All right, friends, that's it for this video. I know it's short and sweet, and I'm so excited that I was able to show you exactly how to connect your bank account into QuickBooks Online. Stick around because next week I'm going to show you exactly how to adjust your entries in QuickBooks. Now, there's like several different ways to do this, and I'm excited to show you exactly how to do this in next week's video. Remember, you can always like and comment on this video if you have any questions, and go ahead and hit that subscribe button and share it with all your friends. I will see you in the next video. Bye.